don't want to go to war with anybody, right? So Donald Trump has softened his tone in regard to Iran. You know, he was talking about bombing their nuclear sites incessantly, by the way, and all of a sudden he's in Saudi Arabia.
He actually was not incessantly talking about bombing their nuclear sites. It was the people around him who were doing that. This is why with Anna, it's like you gotta pay attention to what's going on. You know, I'm sorry. You know what it is with me and her? Like, I just feel like you know, it's just like, girl, like, stay focused on the information. Watch what's going on. There's a lot of things going on right now, and yeah, the small details, they do matter. That said, welcome back to the channel, guys. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and a notification bell. I'm glad they went to the part about the war. I definitely wanted to go back into that and see how they handle it. Because there is a lot going on. As a matter of fact, even today, there's discussions happening with Iran and America, and we're going to find out what the next step is from there. Should have to go online and find out. And so these matters need to be discussed appropriately. Anyway, with that said, let's get back to this clip. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. It's like all this. Yes, Trump went to Saudi Arabia. I don't necessarily care to talk about it. I really just don't.
Military is definitely more robust than Iraq's was, for instance. So going to war with Iran would not be a simple task, and it could potentially be disastrous for the American people. If it turns into a full-blown war, American soldiers could die. We should avoid war. So I love the fact that he's pursuing diplomatic means to get a new nuclear deal that'll prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. They just had their fourth round of talks. They did not reach a conclusion, but Trump says that they're getting closer. Whether you believe him or not, that's a different story. But I commend him for wanting to pursue this diplomatically. I'm wondering what
I'm going to tell you right now, because of the fact that Anna is sitting here on this panel that's supposed to be a mixed panel, but it's really not. This is the conservative answer to The View. She's not going to say the thing that needs to be said. Yes, they are having discussions. Well, actually, one of the discussions were canceled, and then they came back this week. Now, this week is the 5th round of just 5 rounds of discussions, just to get back to the same JCPOA that they already had, that Trump had, you know, slashed. You cannot ask a country, by the way, to go full, like, get rid of all your arsenal, get rid of your proxies, get rid of everything, get rid of your chance for nuclear weapon. No country can sit there and live defenseless, especially one like Iran. Okay, so that said, anyway, this is the type of stuff that Israel wants. And that's the part that Anna can't say, because now she's talking to Valuetainment's audience, and if she says, well, there are discussions happening, and they seem to be diplomatic. However, Israel is threatening to bomb Iran at the same time. And so Iran, understanding that America has to back up whatever Israel does, may not want to actually negotiate with America, because we don't make our own decisions in this. Okay? No, that part's never going to be said to the conservatives. It's insane.
There's a bunch of questions. And then okay, because my first thing is, why did you brag then for the past 8 years about how your strangulation tactics have worked? That you bankrupted them, you took out Soleimani, brag, and then complete, hard 180. In addition, which we're going to get to in a minute, we know that Qatar has invested more in America than any other country, arguably, and we'll litigate that in just a moment. But I question those motives for nefarious reasons, not just diplomacy. My next question is it ideal to sideline Israel? So think about all this and then get back to me, because they weren't a part of these negotiations, and they're our top ally in the region. And then the third part is, do you really think that we can trust Iran? So we allow them to
we had something called the JPCOA, okay? That was the Iran nuclear deal that Obama and other countries, by the way, 4 other countries had negotiated with Iran. There were checks to...
I'm going to let this run for 3 minutes straight for a reason.
Ensure that Iran was not enriching uranium.
But he's going to allow them to enrich uranium, though.
Huh?
He's going to allow them to do it.
I mean...
And then they're allowed to get to 90%.
But there are inspectors, and I'm glad you just played what Trump said over there. This is one of the most important things of his presidency. It's a huge change. The Trump doctrine, this is what the American people voted for. I have a chapter on him taking this position in Trump We Trust. It was one of the reasons I supported him in 2016. But then, first term, he appointed Jared Kushner president, and turns out we had to keep going around bombing everyone, like you mentioned Soleimani, which was a terrible, horrible idea. Let's just put that behind us.
Shout out to Ann Coulter. I'm sorry, I know I was supposed to let it play, but I'm sorry, she's on the money. They don't tell you why. All right. Let me shut up and let them. What's the point? She's just.
This is the new Trump, and this is the uniparty against the American people. We have zero interest in going to war with Iraq. A lot of Americans will die.
Yes.
A lot. We should not have military bases around the world. We have enough trouble in our country. The anti-war left and the MAGA right should come together, because this is and he said it in that speech. A lot of people want to go to war. Oh my gosh, and that's probably why he keeps saying these stupid things about, I'm going to stand up to Iraq or Iran, because there is going to be enormous pressure on him to go to war. We have no interest in going to war.
That's my question is, if the leverage of getting Iran to comply is if you don't comply, then I'll bomb you out.
You know what's happened? If I can respond to that in particular. I used to wonder, why does Iran need nuclear power? Aren't they sitting on something else they can use for fuel? Well, yes, they can, but they export fuel. It's how they make money. So if they can get some of their energy from nuclear, there actually is a reason for them to have nuclear energy. Point one. Point two, every time Bush would walk away and say, no, not until you have completely dropped all of your enrichment, they would just keep enriching. And now they're on the verge of getting a nuclear bomb. If you had just negotiated with them and said, okay, you may enrich for nuclear power, but we're sending in inspectors, Obama wouldn't do it. Obama did do it. Bush wouldn't do it. Obama did it. My party went nuts. It's a better idea. Look, Pakistan has a nuclear bomb. We can't trust them. North Korea has a nuclear bomb. We can't trust them. It may be that at some point Iran gets a nuclear bomb. They're closer to it because we didn't send in inspectors. Yeah. This is huge what Trump is doing.
I agree.
Is absolutely huge.
Totally
agree. It's interesting how it didn't get that much press. It should have been a 2-inch headline at the top of the New York Times.
I agree with you that it's the most important story in the news today.
Okay.
I think that Donald Trump has really changed the Republican Party. I mean, I remember the Bush years. The Republican Party was the pro-war party. And to be sure, those types of figures still do exist within the Republican Party. But to answer your question about Netanyahu and him being alienated from these negotiations, let me make clear.
I know you don't like him.
No, I despise him.
I get that you
putting that
despise
aside,
him, but
I can put my bias aside and just give you the facts, right?
Okay.
Netanyahu is the one who convinced Donald Trump in his first term to basically get rid of the Iran nuclear deal, because Netanyahu doesn't want a deal. He wants the United States to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel, just as we did with Iraq back in 2003. In the lead up to the
war with Iran the first time.
In the lead up to the war with Iraq, you had the Israeli intelligence, organization coming out and saying, oh, not only do they have weapons of mass destruction, Iraq is also developing bioweapons, and it's so dangerous. So they had been pushing the United States to go to war with Iraq. We did go to war with Iraq. It was a complete and utter disaster. And if you go back and you read all the details about everything that happened before that preemptive invasion, you'll see very similar trends. You'll see parallels. We should not go to war with Iran. We should approach this diplomatically. I don't want soldiers to go to Iran. I don't want people to die. I want a deal, and I want us to use our resources on the American people.
I agree.
Okay. I had to make sure she was going to do it, y'all. Okay? Because a lot of times these people, man, I'm telling you, depending on the audience that's watching, they won't go there. And she did pretty good breaking it down. I have to hand it to Anna. I can say when I'm wrong. I wasn't sure if she was going to go there, but she did. Because there is coming a time where they're going to say that that's a conspiracy theory. Even though it's something that happened. Especially with Iraq, going to war with Iraq. I mean, Netanyahu came to Congress and told Congress they need to. Now you see what we deal with. You need to go to war in Iraq. Like, by the way, there was nothing to make us go to Iraq. Like, weapons of mass destruction. This nuclear, they have a nuclear bomb in Iran, is the new weapons of mass destruction. They just aren't calling it that because it would just, my God, it would wake everybody up and be like, well, didn't we do this already bore? I lost family members. At the very least. Pat Tillman, rest in peace. So I'm shocked at Anna, but I'm glad that she just did that. So, okay. We'll leave it there. All right. You know, real quick, she might have even made this show almost worth watching. I'm really shocked. Matter of fact, let me see if that girl gives her some pushback. I know I was supposed to end it. Let me just see what this girl has to say.
Like, I want to be intellectually honest here. I am a conservative now. But this is not a good idea to use to allow Air Force One to be created by or to be gifted to us by another country. We would literally have to take the plane apart.
Okay, it has nothing to do with conservatism. Okay, so this is a waste of time. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.